Have you ever found yourself stuck in the past, reliving old regrets, or anxiously imagining everything that could go wrong tomorrow? How often are you truly in the present moment? Not just physically there, but mentally, emotionally here. Let's be honest. In a world filled with notifications, distractions, and constant noise, staying present feels more like a luxury than a way of life. But what if I told you that the secret to peace, clarity, and power is not in the past you can't change or the future you can't predict, but right here in this moment? Today, we're diving into ancient wisdom from the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, and how their ideas can help you reclaim control, find calm, and fully live your life. If you're serious about self-improvement and becoming the strongest version of yourself, hit that subscribe button now and let's begin this journey. 1. Time is slipping. Are you wasting it? Time is the one thing every person is equally given, yet it's also the one thing most of us squander without realizing it. We talk about saving money, managing energy, and protecting our health, but how often do we think about managing our time with the same urgency? The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." That statement alone, if taken seriously, can change your life. Because time, unlike anything else, can't be paused, rewound, or earned back once lost. Take a moment to think about today, this very day. How many minutes have you already spent scrolling aimlessly through your phone? How many conversations did you half listen to while mentally drifting elsewhere? How many times have you told yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow"? These are not just habits. They are evidence of a life postponed. And postponement is the quiet killer of potential. The Stoics didn't see time as just a clock ticking. They saw it as a sacred opportunity to live well. And when you waste time, you waste yourself. The modern world is built to distract us. Algorithms are designed to capture our attention, notifications to hijack our focus, and endless content to keep us passively engaged. But here's the truth the Stoics understood deeply. Every second you spend consumed by distraction is a second stolen from your real life. If you're not actively choosing how to use your time, then someone else is doing it for you, and that's a dangerous way to live. Living in the present moment isn't about escaping responsibilities or pretending problems don't exist. It's about engaging with life directly, rather than numbing ourselves with regret over yesterday or worry about tomorrow. When you're fully present, something incredible happens. You begin to see things clearly, decisions become easier, conversations become richer. Even the most ordinary tasks begin to carry weight and meaning. Consider the idea of mortality, not in a morbid way, but in the way the Stoics often reflected on it. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic thinker, wrote daily reminders that he would not live forever. This wasn't to depress him, but to sharpen his awareness, to remind himself to live fully today. Because when you understand the fragility of time, you stop treating life like it's disposable. You stop saying, "I'll do it later," and instead say, "If not now, when?" Living in the present also improves your ability to grow. You can't change the past. You can't fast forward to the future. But you can decide who you are in this moment, and that decision, repeated consistently, is what shapes your character. When you choose to show up now, fully engaged, you're training your mind to become stronger, more focused, and more grounded. It's not easy to stay present. Your mind will wander. You'll get tempted by distractions. But the discipline of returning to the moment again and again builds mental toughness. It becomes a daily practice, like exercising a muscle. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes to live with intention rather than by accident. The Stoics weren't detached monks. They were leaders, workers, soldiers, parents. They dealt with chaos, pain, and pressure just like we do. Yet, they managed to stay present, not because life was easy, but because presence gave them the power to endure. Presence was their anchor, and it can be yours too. So ask yourself this: what is the cost of constantly living in your head instead of your life? What will it take for you to start treating now as the most important time of all? Because that's what it is. Not someday, not after the promotion, not when you heal or when you're more confident. Right now. The time to live is not later. It's not when conditions are perfect. It's this second, this breath, this opportunity. You owe it to yourself not to waste another moment waiting for life to start. The Stoics knew that presence wasn't just a mindset, it was a survival skill. In a world obsessed with more, they chose now, and maybe it's time you do too. 2. Control is a choice, not a guarantee. We spend so much of our lives trying to control the uncontrollable, what people think of us, how situations unfold, and whether or not the future goes exactly as planned. But the Stoics understood a powerful truth that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. We don't control what happens, we only control how we respond. This might sound simple, even cliché, but if you truly live by this, your entire perspective on life changes. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, famously said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." In that short sentence lies a roadmap to peace. Most of our emotional suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our resistance to those events. We want traffic to move faster, people to behave better, the past to be different, and the future to guarantee us safety. But none of that is in our hands. What is in our hands is how we interpret, respond, and act in the face of those events. Picture yourself standing in a river. The water rushes past your legs, unstoppable. If you try to grasp it with your hands, it slips through your fingers. This is how most of us approach time, the future, and other people's opinions. We try to grip what cannot be held. We waste our strength trying to fix what isn't ours to fix. The Stoics challenge us to do something radical. Stop reaching for the water and instead steady your footing where you stand. There's a tremendous amount of power in acceptance, not passive resignation, but active acceptance. It's saying, this is the situation. Now what am I going to do about it? Instead of complaining about the storm, you secure the sails. Instead of resenting the past, you learn from it. The goal isn't to control everything, but to master the only thing you can, your response. Control, in the Stoic view, is about focus. It's about cutting away the noise, the distractions, and the delusions, and asking yourself one clear question. What's mine to do right now? That question centers you. It breaks the spell of helplessness and panic. It returns your attention from the swirling chaos outside to the calm eye of the storm within. We often confuse control with certainty. We think that to feel safe, we need to know exactly what's coming next. But the Stoics saw that certainty is an illusion. Tomorrow isn't promised. Outcomes can't be guaranteed, but character can be built. Discipline can be chosen, and integrity can be lived. Right. Now, control isn't about certainty. It's about clarity in the face of uncertainty. The beauty of Stoic control is that it frees you. You stop trying to change people who don't want to change. You stop arguing with reality. And most importantly, you stop outsourcing your peace to things outside of your influence. You become unshakable not because the world becomes easier, but because you become stronger. Every day presents a choice. React emotionally or respond intentionally. The first leads to impulsiveness, regret, and anxiety. The second builds resilience, trust in yourself, and quiet strength. The world may still be chaotic, but you begin to carry peace within you, a peace that no circumstance can steal. Stoic control is about letting go without giving up. It's about refusing to waste your energy on things that drain you while fully committing to what actually matters. You stop asking the world to be easier and start asking yourself to be more focused, more deliberate, more grounded. So the next time something frustrates you, ask yourself, am I trying to control something that's outside of my power? If the answer is yes, release it. And then shift your energy towards something that is in your power. Your mindset, your actions, your presence. This is how you take your power back. Not by trying to change everything, but by choosing who you are no matter what happens. Ultimately, the Stoic path is not about avoidance or detachment. It's about precision. It's about aligning your energy with reality, refusing to fight unwinnable battles, and instead waging the only war that matters, the one within. When you do that, you become someone the world cannot shake, because you are rooted not in fantasy, but in clarity. 3. Turn your past into fuel, not a cage. The past has a strange grip on us. Sometimes it feels like a shadow that follows us no matter how far we try to run. We carry the weight of old decisions, past failures, betrayals, and painful memories like a heavy backpack we've forgotten how to set down. But the Stoics saw the past differently, not as a trap to be stuck in, but as a source of strength, a well of wisdom we can draw from without becoming consumed by it. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This applies not only to the future, but also to the past. We replay moments in our heads like broken records. What we should have said, what we should have done differently, how things could have gone. But the Stoics teach us that regret is useful only if it leads to growth. Otherwise, it becomes a prison of self-punishment, locking us in a place we no longer live. The truth is, you are not the same person who made those past mistakes. You have new awareness, new insight, new experience. Yet so many people let who they were define who they are. But the Stoic approach is simple. Take the lesson, not the identity. Your past may explain you, but it does not define you. You are more than what happened to you. You are what you choose to become next. Pain and trauma are not signs of weakness. They're proof that you endured. But endurance is only the beginning. The next step is to transform that pain into purpose. The Stoics believed that adversity is the raw material for greatness. Just as fire strengthens steel, your struggles can sharpen your character, if you let them. Think of your past as a series of pages in a book. Some chapters were messy, others painful, but none of them tell the whole story. You are still writing the next chapter. Don't let one bad scene define the entire narrative. Instead, ask, what did I learn from this? And how can I use that wisdom to make better choices today? That shift alone turns you from a victim of your past into the author of your future. Too often, we assign permanent labels to temporary versions of ourselves. I failed, therefore, I am a failure. I was abandoned, therefore, I am unworthy. The Stoics rejected that kind of fatalism. They believed in agency, the power to respond, to redirect, to begin again. The past is real, yes, but the present is more powerful, because it's the only place you can act, change, and evolve. Letting go of the past doesn't mean pretending. It didn't happen. It means refusing to let it dominate your current life. It means facing it, understanding it, and then choosing to move forward anyway. That's not denial, that's courage. And it takes far more strength to forgive yourself and step forward than it does to stay stuck in guilt and resentment. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The same goes for the mind's attachment to the past. You can't undo what was done, but you can choose how to carry it. Will it weigh you down, or will it lift you up through the lessons it taught? The past can either be your anchor or your engine. The choice is yours. You can let it keep you stuck, dragging behind you with every step, or you can burn it for fuel, lighting the fire that drives your growth, your discipline, your clarity. The Stoics didn't believe in being ruled by yesterday. They believed in reclaiming today. So, the next time your mind drifts back to a regret or a painful memory, pause. Ask yourself, what can I take from this? What truth is buried here? And once you have that answer, leave the rest. You don't need to carry the weight of 1,000 yesterdays. All you need is the strength to be fully present right now and let those old wounds become your wisdom. Ultimately, your past is a teacher, not a sentence. Learn from it, respect it, but do not live inside it. The Stoic path is one of freedom, and that freedom begins the moment you realize the past is gone and your power lies entirely in how you move forward. 4. Anxiety is imagination on fire. Anxiety is a thief. It robs you of peace, sleep, joy, and even your ability to act. What's worse, it doesn't need to be based on anything real. The Stoics saw this clearly. Most of our fear is not rooted in what is, but in what might be. Anxiety is the mind's imagination turned against itself. It creates monsters in the dark and convinces us that they're waiting for us just around the corner. Epictetus warned us that man is not troubled by events but by his opinion about events. This insight cuts deep. It means that our suffering often has little to do with reality and everything to do with our interpretation of it. We imagine losing our job, failing at a task, being rejected, or falling sick. And then we react emotionally to those imaginary futures as if they're already happening. That emotional burden becomes real, even if the scenario never comes true. Think of how often we spin entire mental movies out of thin air. We worry about conversations that haven't happened. We fear failures we haven't even attempted. We catastrophize the future as if it's guaranteed to go wrong. And in the process, we create stress that's entirely self-inflicted. The Stoics didn't pretend anxiety didn't exist, they simply didn't indulge it. They reminded themselves, daily, is this within my control? If not, it is not worth your peace. Anxiety thrives in vagueness. It feeds on ambiguity and uncertainty. One of the Stoic methods to fight this is by bringing clarity to your thoughts. Instead of spiraling into what-ifs, ask yourself, what exactly am I afraid of? Then break it down, dissect it. Often, the moment you clearly define your fear, it loses its power, because most anxiety is built on exaggeration and abstraction. The Stoics understood that fear of the future is often a misuse of a powerful gift, imagination. The same imagination that helps us create art, innovate, and dream is also the engine that fuels our dread when we allow it to wander untrained. The key isn't to shut off your imagination, but to discipline it. Use it to plan, prepare, and envision positive outcomes, not just to rehearse disaster. A powerful Stoic exercise is the daily premeditation of adversity, or premeditatio malorum. This doesn't mean expecting the worst or being pessimistic. It means mentally preparing yourself for life's inevitable challenges so you're not caught off guard. You acknowledge that difficulty may come, and you calmly ask yourself, if this happens, how will I respond? This creates strength and composure, replacing helplessness with readiness. Another useful practice is creating a simple 2-column list each morning. Label one column, things I can influence. Label the other, things outside my control. This simple act anchors your focus. When anxiety begins to rise, revisit the list. Are you stressing about something in the second column? Let it go. Redirect your energy toward what's in the first. This daily habit transforms anxiety into action. We must also realize that the body responds to thoughts as if they were facts. If you constantly rehearse disaster in your mind, your body reacts with tension, elevated heart rate, and stress. This is not imaginary, it's very real, but the cause is mental, not external, and this is where you have power. You can change your internal narrative. You can choose thoughts that empower, not cripple you. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, reminded himself, "Today I escaped anxiety," or no, I discarded it, because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom on anxiety. It teaches us that the storm isn't out there, it's inside. And because it's within, it means we have a say in it. You may not feel in control of your feelings at every moment, but you can control the thoughts that fuel them. The beauty of Stoic practice is that it offers immediate, actionable steps. You don't need a perfect mindset, you just need to pause, reflect, and redirect. The next time anxiety shows up, don't panic. Observe it, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or harming me? Is this fear a fact or just a habit? This creates space, and in that space, you reclaim your power. Ultimately, the Stoics did not promise a life free of fear or worry. They promised something better, that with practice, you can develop the strength to remain steady in spite of those things. You can become the calm in the chaos. You can train your mind to work with you, not against you. And every day you choose presence over panic, action over anxiety, you take another step toward that inner mastery. 5. Presence is a muscle. Train it. Presence is often misunderstood. People think it's something mystical, something that just happens when the world quiets down, or when you're on a beach at sunset. But the Stoics would tell you that presence is not about the environment around you. It's about the environment within you. It's a discipline, a skill, a muscle. And like any muscle, it strengthens through intentional use. In Stoic thought, presence was not a fleeting emotion. It was a choice made again and again throughout the day. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote to himself in Meditations to concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness. This wasn't poetry, it was a practice. Marcus was reminding himself to be here, in this moment, not somewhere else in his mind. Think of presence like physical fitness. You don't get strong by going to the gym once. You get strong by showing up consistently, especially when you don't feel like it. The same applies to being mentally present. You won't feel in the zone all the time. But every time you return your focus to the moment, every time you catch your mind drifting and gently bring it back, you're building mental strength. Quietly, powerfully. Presence also requires restraint in a world that glorifies multitasking and constant productivity. Being fully focused on one thing feels almost rebellious. But this is the Stoic way. It is the path of depth over distraction. To sit with a single task. To speak with someone and actually listen. To eat without a phone. To walk without rushing. These aren't small acts. They're spiritual resistance to a culture of fragmentation. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Presence is no exception. It won't always come easily. Some days your thoughts will scatter like leaves in the wind, but the Stoic doesn't chase perfection. He returns, gently, firmly, repeatedly, because returning is the practice, and the practice is the path. Stillness plays a key role in training presence. The Stoics valued solitude, not to escape the world, but to better re-enter it with clarity. When you give yourself moments of silence, free from stimulation, your mind settles. You begin to see what really matters. That moment of stillness is not wasted time, it's a sharpening of your sword before battle. Gratitude is another anchor for presence. Not the fluffy, performative kind, but deep, grounded awareness of what's already here. When you pause and give thanks for three things, your breath, your health, a friend, you're not just feeling good. You're focusing your mind on the now. You're training it to notice, appreciate, and stay rooted. Gratitude is presence in motion. Presence doesn't always feel good. It often brings discomfort to the surface. The boredom we avoid, the sadness we suppress, the stress we've numbed with distraction. But this is part of the healing. You can't address what you won't face. Presence is the first step to self-honesty, and self-honesty is the gateway to growth. Practicing presence makes you more effective, not less. It's not about slowing down for the sake of it. It's about eliminating wasted energy. When your mind isn't split in 10 directions, you think more clearly. You communicate with purpose. You work with precision. You love more deeply. Your life becomes intentional, not accidental. The Stoics didn't retreat from life. They engaged with it fully, moment by moment. They knew that the future is just a series of present moments yet to come. If you can master one moment, you can master them all. That's what presence gives. You power in the now, which is the only place your real life is happening. So if you want to be stronger, calmer, more focused, more alive, start with the moment you're in. Pay attention to your breath, to the way your feet touch the floor, to the task in front of you. Train your mind to stop fleeing into the past or racing toward the future. And when it does, don't scold it. Just return, again and again. That return is your power. We live as if life is waiting for us somewhere, just beyond the next achievement, the next paycheck, the next relationship, the next break. But the truth is, life is not waiting. It's unfolding right here, right now, whether you're paying attention or not. The Stoics didn't just understand this. They built their lives around it. To them, the present moment wasn't a stepping stone to something better. It was the destination. You don't have to escape your life to improve. You don't need a vacation, a new job, or a different city. You need clarity. You need presence. You need to show up for what's already in front of you and give it your full self. That is where peace begins. Not in the future, not in fixing the past, but in the courage to be here now. So ask yourself, how much of your life have you spent waiting to begin? How many moments have you allowed to pass unnoticed while your mind wandered elsewhere? The Stoics challenge us to reclaim those moments, not someday, but today, not later, but now. Stillness, presence, gratitude, acceptance, these aren't abstract ideals. They're practices, they're skills, and you have the power to develop them. One breath at a time, one choice at a time. This is the path to a calmer mind, a stronger character, and a life you don't feel the need to escape from. So if today's message resonated with you, don't just think about it. Live it. Be the person who no longer runs from the moment but leans into it. Be the person who doesn't just hear wisdom but embodies it. That's what the Stoics would do, and it's what you can do starting right now. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found value in this message, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who needs to hear it, because we all need reminders to come back to the moment, to the only place life has ever truly existed, the present.